Welcome back to the FACEIT America's Minors, coming to you live from Twickenham Rugby Stadium. We came in, we burst all the balls and we put some PCs in where they belong. We haven't had any of that Eels pie though, as you see on the screen there, but we might go there, have a pint later if we get the time. It depends on whether this next match goes to a full best of 3 maps. Now, I'm Frankie Ward. I am joined by Vendetta and Pimp. Don't know how you got that name, Pimp, and I don't think I'm really able to ask you. This is a family show. Now, before the break, we saw Rogue take on United, and they emerged victorious, but the struggle was slightly real for a moment, and maybe took us by surprise.
A little bit. I would say, Rogue got the job done, and United showed that they're capable of playing a championship bracket like this. So I think we got what we wanted, a competitive game where both teams had a say. In the end, the best team won, and are now proceeding into the upper bracket final.
I'm just wondering if United will be able to claw on to the lower bracket and win their next match, which could be against NRG, but it's probably going to be Complexity, isn't it?
I mean, if all things are aligned in the universe, then yeah, NRG should be the one qualifying or going further to play for a qualification spot versus Rogue later on, not today. But yeah, that is what is likely. But it's Counter-Strike. We've seen weirder things happen. But in any case, I mean, if NRG show weakness, actually lose to Complexity here in this best of 3, then who's to say that United can't make a bit of a run for it and actually get NRG out of their comfort zone?
Well, if you want to put your thoughts out there into the universe, make sure you tag them on the social medias with #FaceItMinor. We'd love to hear your thoughts on everything, really, but particularly today's matchups. You know, we can problem solve for you. I will be your agony aunt if you want, but we're probably more likely to read out things that are related to energy and complexity because they're up next. Now, -20 is a promotional code that you can use on the FACEIT website, and that will get you 20% off the premium subscription. But it is a limited time offer. So get yourself over to the FACEIT website now. If you want to save yourself 20% off, I think a premium subscription is about £3. So you save yourself 50p for a Snickers, and you're going to need that energy to keep you going when you are in scrims and playing all that Counter-Strike and trying to get yourself to pro level like the teams we're about to see. And in fact, no time like the present. Let's meet our second matchup of the day.
Our second game of the day will see NRG take on Complexity. NRG stormed through Group A, taking down United and Swole Patrol to secure their spot in the second upper bracket semi-final. The brute force of Ethan and Cirque dominated the scene, allowing NRG to come out on top of Group A.
I've never qualified before, so it means a lot. Just like the stickers obviously are a big thing in the game, and then just saying they've been to a major, I think, is like something really important to me.
Complexity had a slightly longer road to reach their position in the second upper bracket semi-final, but stood their ground in a best-of-3 series against the North Americans of Dignitas. Orpa Shazam looked unstoppable, but will it be enough to take down the tried and tested NRG?
Personally never been to even a major qualifier, so this tournament means everything to me. So I'll do whatever it takes to make it through this.
Well, there we have it. I feel a bit mean for Complexity, actually, because we have been talking a lot about how Energy are probably going to win. Is there anything that Complexity can do to beat Energy?
Again, they do have, a fair amount of experience. I mean, Stanislaw has taken, I guess, unexpected teams to more success than what we would have imagined initially in the past. The thing is, though, I don't think you could say that this group of players is equally strong to what the X-Optic lineup was, for instance. They don't necessarily have a world-class star like Maxwell in there. Even though Shazam has done fairly well for himself, I still think there's, a bit of a gap there still. And with how well Energy have been doing, it would feel unreasonable to say that Complexity have too much of a chance.
Well, let's talk about why Energy are doing so well. Jacob, talk me through that lineup.
I mean, the lineup itself has just a lot of quality players. Cirque, for one of the biggest talent with AVP right now in the entire world, I would say. One of the up-and-coming stars within Counter-Strike in the region in NA for sure. Nate, Ethan, is a guy who's also been growing a lot as a player. And then they have an experienced in-game leader who has tried a lot of times, to have great player around him. They've always been stolen from him, and then he has to start all over. But it feels like this time around in NRG, they're here to stay, and he has found his place and his home with those guys. So they have some consistency as well and a way to play around. So quality lineup with quality aspects and quality quantities and qualities. A lot of cues right there. But in general, just a great lineup. And especially when you look towards the NA scene, you don't have too many of those. There's Liquid right now, and there's Cloud9, who may or may not be a good team anymore. We don't really know that. But for NRG, that's one of the best teams in the world, and they come from NA, and that's unexpected.
Yeah, I feel like they just fill each other out like very well in terms of what kind of purpose they serve within a server, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, you have Circus, obviously the Opera on that side. The fact that Breeze and Ethan can complement each other so well as they're playing. They have Fugly as the experienced backbone of the team, who's always going to deliver something. He's not necessarily going to be the one of the guys who's dropping 25, 30 frags every game, but he's always going to deliver what he needs to do. He's going to get his 1 to 2 frags when he gets pushed in, or he's going to play for time to allow for rotations to happen. And the fact that they've all bought in to what Daps wants to get out on the server. They buy into how he wants to lead a team and so on. And I think that's vitally important. Like when I was in Shanghai a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to Sean, and Sean couldn't stop raving about how good of a job Daps actually does every time he gets younger players into a team, how good he is at actually just getting the best out of them. So that's, massive credit to him, because oftentimes, as typical with in-game leaders, you do give them a bit of a rough time because they're not the greatest individual players compared to obviously the stars on their sides. But those stars wouldn't be in the similar position. They wouldn't be able to perform as they do a lot of the times if it hadn't been for that guy like Daps.
How do we think then that Complexity are going to fare against NRG? What kind of strategy do you think they're going to bring to the table, Jacob? I
mean, they had to rattle NRG a little bit out of their comfort zone, and the only player who can do that from Complexity, I feel, is Shazam. They need to set up Shazam and make him have a great game and make sure that he feels comfortable in whatever map and whatever role he's going to play in the certain map. I think he's the X factor for Complexity, and he's been that for quite some time. Obviously, Ye, who's been having a decent tournament, as you see on the screen here as well, he's been playing well, but it's like it switches off between Ye, Def, and Android, who of them who's showing up. There's no consistent second star in this team, I feel, where Stanislaw is just doing his job as the in-game leader. So in that aspect, Complexity is lagging a little bit. So what could turn into their favor is that all three of those guys can potentially be the second star of the team. So if they hit that at the same time, then yeah, sure thing, NRG is going to have a rough time, but we just haven't seen that happen too much. So we'll have to see basically a new level from Complexity if they want to take a best of 3 against NRG.
For me, Vendetta, I'm a bit concerned about Complexity and pressure, because I feel like they went in quite confident against Rogue yesterday, and then something happened and they just couldn't put it out of the bag. And I feel like Shazam probably is taking a lot on his shoulders right now.
Yeah, I think they all are, actually. Especially, yeah, as you mentioned, versus Rogue, they were in a prime position to actually close that out, go on, not necessarily have to worry about any of this. They could have been the ones playing United instead of NRG, which is obviously something that would have been much preferred for them. Instead, they had a really rough CT side on that Inferno matchup. And, stuff like that weighs on you, because you feel like normally you would do better, you've done better in practice, and there's no real reason for you to kind of mess up the way you did in an official game. But that's where they find themselves. So yeah, they definitely need to come to terms with that and actually be able to brush it off, because they're going to go up against much worse opposition in that sense. In NRG, they're going to be tested a lot harder. So even if those mistakes kind of happen, you can't let it bog yourself down. But they've been doing a good job of actually using timeouts pretty regularly in this tournament so far, which I think they're one of the few teams who actually utilize it to, I guess, their full use in that sense. So they do have multiple opportunities to actually talk things over. And I think, again, with the experience of Shazam and Stanislaw, they will actually be able to do something with it. But again, it's a pretty massive task.
Well, we're ready for the map vetoes now. So let's take a look at what we're going to see.
Yeah, and I can just tell you right off the bat that Overpass is not going to be seen in this matchup.
How do you know, Halvor?
I mean, I am a bit of a prophet, Nostradamus, whatever you want to call me. But yeah, no, Complexity have no interest in playing. And I think if you're just playing against NRG full stop, you don't feel too confident going into Overpass, actually.
No, in this case scenario now, as Mirage is going out of the window as well, it's actually a good thing that Complexity's permaban is one of the strongest maps of
Exactly.
NRG. You know, it gives them a little bit of leverage so that they don't have to think, okay, we have to ban this map, but they're also good on this one. You know, they get into a middle ground straight away without wasting a ban right here. So that's pretty confident from Complexity. Picking up Cash again, one of the maps where Shazam is notoriously known for being a great over. He's very mobile, very aggressive basically, and just makes a lot of room and makes a lot of space for not only himself but also his teammates. So I think Complexity is quite happy that they can get into Cash, and being that the first map of the game as well, you know, get a confident start to the game.
Absolutely, and I also think it's one of the maps where NRG aren't necessarily going to it all that much. Again, with them attending more and more international tournaments, playing more and more Tier 1 teams, that's a map that's kind of fallen out of favor. So in a sense, it's not necessarily a pocket pick from Complexity's end, but it's a smart one, I feel, because it's not going to be the most practiced map that NRG have in their map pool. NRG following that up with the train pick makes sense for them, comfortable map. And again, if you have Cirque on your team, you do feel pretty confident about playing a map like Train.
I got a surprise for you, Hover. Third map.
It's Inferno.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it? Did you think that, Fergie? Did you ever see that coming?
I'm never surprised when Inferno's the third map.
But again, common ground. I feel we are a bit of a broken record when it comes to talking about that third map, but I like it though. I have no problem with it because it usually leads to pretty interesting and fun matches to watch. So even though it's familiar territory, you do like the fact that they can close that out on a map that both teams should be capable of playing.
Well, our casters are ready, so Starsky and Hutch, it's over to you.
God. Hello, I'm ready. I had a meatball explosion all over my chest, and my shirt
you've replaced
that's
it.
why I'm wearing this. My shirt has had to be taken off because it's covered in meat. Well, there we go. We're going to be starting on the... I actually have meatball on my finger as well. Just, Dan, talk.
How does meatball explode? The production is telling me to ask you because I don't want them, the public to know.
So, okay, so we were eating on a high table with stools. The knife fell out of the plate and just flicked meatball sauce on my chest. And
was it worth it though? Were the meatballs worth it?
It was, yeah. It was good meatballs. The food here is excellent. They're even cooking tortellini just as people are moving down the queue. It's pretty awesome.
It was some of the best meatballs I've ever had. So that's great. But this match is going to be an interesting one. We divert the discussion to Counter-Strike. We've got NRG. No one wants to play them in this America's Minor. That is for sure. They are titans, and they're one of those just fan favorite teams. I think so many people who have followed their journey. You can't be anything but charmed by them and their story, and the skill that is going to be on display. Looking forward to this one. Complexity will have the hard job of challenging them on Cash to start off with, and it looks like NRG are interested on just hitting that A-bomb site. Complexity, however, they have an A retake set up, more or less, you know, one player not fully committed onto the A site, close enough to hear the door open or close, but not close enough to be committed, you know, if he was in the quad position or forklift and so on. So decent setup for Complexity. They have they don't have a smoke kit situation. In fact, there is no kit, which could be a problem. Look at this, NRG sweating Complexity out. There's sweat everywhere, James.
It's like a steam room. 1-2-2 set up from Complexity for the time being. Ye is the rotation man on highway for this round at the very least. Some pot shots through the smoke, but not finding a whole lot. She's now looking up, getting taken down. 4-on-4. The players of B moving in towards the A site now. The rotation is long, but the bomb's not down just yet. Forklift is where Fugly will shoot Ye in the face. 3 players now, more or less coming in from highway in the car. Stanislaw with some crouch peeking. An easy shot onto Daps, and Ethan trying to do what he can, but he can't do much. Multiple headshots coming the way of Complexity. Now it's Cirque versus 2, but the bomb is being defused. He'll get some extra kills towards the end there. He will make some bonus monies.
Ooh. Yeah, he makes quite a bit of bonus money.
Yes.
I'm just wondering what the possibilities are for them, because they got the bomb down. There is a world where they would force buy here, but I don't know. Cirque can get Norp really quickly, so Cirque is actually gonna use the money that he earned with the kills in that round for Kevlar and SCZ.
Well, he had Kevlar anyway.
Oh, sorry, yeah, just a CZ then. So that means he will save a little bit.
$400. Buckazoids. And once again, NRG looking to go into the A site. Complexity waiting patiently. They've got a decent enough setup. Fast assist from Shazam if required from Highway. And a cursory spray from Def into the squeaky door. NRG not giving any presence at all away on the map, being very quiet. And so our Complexity is a bit of a standstill at the moment. But the time to go in is very soon. You can see that NRG is set up, and actually Ethan opens it up, gets the first kill. Def defends, but where is the trade fragger? Shazam comes into play, and that distraction will put Ethan in a hard position. Looking good here for Complexity, though Def and Android are quite weak. There is still more to be done here for NRG.
Ethan trying to make something work on the A side, and Def will take him out. Daps now in the site, can't get the final shot onto Def, which may have allowed him to plant the bomb. Stanislaw was on the flank through B into the main area, however, he will not be required ultimately. Complexity prevail. I just was given my goodie bag by the FACEIT staff. I have a t-shirt that says Europe. Kind of ironic. If you think about it.
A little bit.
1-2-2 setup continues for the CT side, although Ye is playing from the car on this occasion, expecting maybe some early aggression, but Complexity are almost ill-equipped in this round with the 5 AKs of NRG, and they will try to make up for that with some very early aggression indeed. I mean, his position is aggressive, Def. He will play it slow in case he's being waited for, especially with NRG making no sound cues for the time being. And NRG is an opponent which Complexity will be forced to respect.
Yeah, absolutely. And NRG has so much confidence, and at this point, so much pedigree in their short time as at being this lineup and having the successes that they've had. They have ultimate confidence, and that's a pretty good trade for NRG. Going 4 versus 4, the A side is actually open at the moment. They still have a player on either side of the map, and what's cool and something to note is that NRG so far have had a very slow pace. This is something that they are going to then modulate as we go further into their T side, where they will have some very fast rounds to try to catch Complexity off guard. It's all about conditioning, and they've decided to make Complexity play very, very slow rounds at the start of this half. So her harassment smoke there, keep players towards B, whilst the main push comes into A.
2 players in checkers for the CT side. Ye alone on the A site, trying to buy time with that Molotov, and he may be able to do that. No more smokes for the CT side. Shazam gets taken out. Ye has problems on the high ground, can't get there in time. Daps takes him out, and there goes Stanislaw by the car. Stereo frags from NRG, and they are quickly on the scoreboard here on Cash.
Yeah, these slow plays, really cool to see. When it's done well, it's scary. But that's the thing, is that it can be difficult to execute these plays well. And one of the things that's interesting about it is that if NRG play these slow rounds, there is space for Complexity to take aggressions and to do things. Just because NRG are in spots to defend it doesn't mean that you still can't attack into it if you've got a good setup. That's very fast, though, from Cirque. Straight in the face, Shazam is dead towards B. And they've got a minute and a half left to play out the 5v4. Def has an AWP though, he's looking for answers in A main, but there will be none. But they do have some position here, which is very nice to have. Again, slowing it down, NRG. Get the first pick, slow it all the way down. Def waiting, this has to be a kill surely. Dodges the flashbang, there's Ethan, goes in for more.
No fear on that repeat. Understands what he has to do in this situation. Bomb has not been spotted just yet, but as the main aggressor here for Complexity, Def continues his journey. That is much information. No loud response from NRG, apart from popping the glass, which will allow them to deploy the grenades towards the B-bomb site. They've got no Molotovs for the site itself. Stanislaw's here, but that flashbang is perfect. And now maybe he can bait for his teammates. There are 3 of them on the site. Can they get any kills there? Doesn't seem so. What happened to the mouse? Has he got hair on the mouse? went crazy, and now Def is in position. Bomb not planted just yet. Spots, but doesn't swat. Second attempt, also missed. Crucial opportunities for Def, can't capitalize though, and that will be round number 2 for NRG.
Yeah, it looked like something was on the sensor indeed.
Yeah, that's typical. Back in the day, have a hair on your sensor, all of a sudden you're looking at the ceiling.
So Complexity have been broken, and NRG can play some anti-ecos. Complexity, going for an A stack. Oh, actually not quite. Got 3 players moving down towards highway, down to mid. And here's the flash. I think we saw this from them yesterday as well, actually. I think the other team just went B. Whoever they were playing, I forget now.
No one boosted here for the T side, which is interesting. Because Daps is in mid. NRG not afraid to play a slow anti-eco. Okay, he's made his way into the vent position. Ethan spots 3, maybe 4 players. Bomb needs to be collected, rotated. Daps in for support, and it's easy. It's money making, it's farming for that Mac 10. Off they go. Money, money, money. 3 kills for Ethan. Show me the cash.
It's always nice seeing a clean anti-eco, isn't it?
Ethan's hair game is on point in that photo.
Yeah.
He's got his Fonz game going on. 1 Mac 10 will continue for NRG, and there's only 1 helmet on the 5 players of Complexity. So, if Daps can get into position, then who knows what might happen. Daps always consistently enabling his team. The in-game leader taking the Mac 10.
Oh, hello. There's a lot of players here. Which way do you look? Which player do you try to take down? Shazam does do some good fadeaway damage there, but NRG are going to surely push off the back of this. They have to go in now, and they've got the 4v2, so they traded out effectively. Smoke going across to allow them to make way between the side and main. Oh my god, exposed, so incredibly exposed. Stan can actually see the bomb from where he is, but he's in no man's land. High flash, that's going to go above Stan's head. He's going to be fine, another kill from him. Just Fugly left, he'll use the top of the red container to his advantage, and he will get some spray in the face.
Bullet, 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 bullets!
And that's 4-2 for NRG. Their money starts to build rapidly. 10k on Fugly, 11k on Cirque, 9k on Daps. All the case.
So beyond the, hopefully not all the case, Dan. Beyond the pistol, it is 4-0 essentially to NRG. Again, this is something I will keep bringing it up. Relevant to momentum and such. Complexity, what answer do you have for these buy rounds? No answer on this occasion because they are in eco territory. Eco on cash, not great. Arguably similar problems to, actually I wouldn't say the same as Dust 2, but I think there's more opportunity on cash, but it's still just a pretty bad situation really. So if you're a CT on eco, Dan, a CT team on eco, on cash, what are you trying to achieve? What options do you have? Well, I think it's always going to be very difficult, especially if the enemy team knows how to play good anti-ecos. But obviously, you have the options to. It depends on like what you bought as well. Whether you decided to do this and you only have like 1 deagle. So this is like a pretty light eco. So you either go for a stack and just hope that you can deny money if they go to the other sites, or if they try to rush into your site, you at least get a chance at some kills. Or you can just try to play a default setup. There's not too many options, honestly. There's no good option on the eco. That's a good start, so they do move into the stack. There is 1 frag. Can Complexity get any more, though? There's no Molotovs, in fact, to clear out the bomb site, so they're going to have to just push the positions close range. It's going pretty well. Another frag going the way of Android. Looking for the next one. He does get eliminated, though, but 2 kills, I think, is, given the investment, a fair cop. Too many man on the B bomb site for Complexity to deal with. Cirque has a spawn to peek mid. Does he throw the AK to a teammate? There is a pause at the moment. It's a technical pause. Somebody has a mouse issue. I think it's Daps. Wouldn't surprise me. We did see his crosshair go crazy in a round prior, so he could do with some mouse cleaning. Check the sensor. Having some chat with an admin who's moving his mouse around. I can see it on our secondary screens. So
it seems fine. You're good to go.
We'll see what he's doing. Has he got something on his pad? Maybe he's had a meatball issue as well.
I used to play with an ice
meatballs,
mat, which is a glass pad, and you'd always have to clean it because dust would just gets on it, and because it's glass, glass itself has I guess the lowest friction you can get on the pad. Any grain of dust can just trip the sensor.
Mine as well.
So you got to make sure it's clean all the time. Wipe it down before every game. A little bit of water.
Some heat pads for the players. Guess it's more hygienic than just never mind. Well, hopefully, yeah. He probably had I remember when Body's mouse broke at an ECS finals, and I went home and gave him one of my mice because I had the same mouse. But I think it was the EC2, and at the time I was using the EC1, but I've gone back to the EC2. But anyway, because it had been in a cupboard, literally collecting dust for a while. So I saw one part in a round where his crosser just went to the ceiling. I'm sure he cleaned it afterwards. They are almost ready. But again, okay, Cirque and Daps have similar spawns, but they will continue with the AKs for the time being. And I do wonder if it was one of his teammates who had his AK and he spawned with a pistol, if he would have bought a sniper and gone for the play. But Daps maybe even had a better spawn, so we'll see what they choose to do. And it will be a passive beginning for NRG. If they feel it's a risk, there's no need to take it, as they are having some pretty good rounds so far. Shazam waiting for the... Ooh, I thought maybe he was waiting for a pop flash, but apparently he was waiting to get shot in the face by Brezzy.
That's a great start, yeah, for NRG. Complexity will back away. Often got to be careful. You can see Def is going to be cautious. When you back away, obviously the T's know that, okay, if they pushed Squeaky, unless they want to actually just keep going to T-spawn, they're going to have to back out, and they're going to cross across A main, so you can have options to catch them as they do that, so you got to be careful. Def is going all the way, and so is Daps. Oh, that's a nice headshot. Android close, now spotted by Daps. He's got a teammate to backstab. That's beautiful, isn't it? What a setup there from NRG. Works out perfectly. And now Ye's alone on the bomb site. Help is far away, but Breeze is very low. Fugly will make his way forwards, and they've got a clean A bomb site after the kill onto Def. So Ye's in a really rough spot. It's not a good spot to be in. It's just got to save. Before the bomb's gone down, you already know you have to save. That's never fun. But he might be able to get a sneaky frag. They don't know exactly where he is. So maybe there's a world where he can try to go for this, but his team is saving in the next round. So they do have max loss bonus, but you can see how broke they are.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he made a play, if there is a kit anywhere near the bomb, because it's one weapon and the money is together for his team. But with all the action on B, he didn't commit to a rotation towards A, because how could he possibly know? So, but at this point, he will hold on to the weapon.
Yeah, you can give it to Shazam next round, and they could try to fight by, but because they're going to have $3,400.
Oh, yes, they're at max loss bonus. I didn't even... but still, I mean, the money could be together.
It's still a really sketchy buy, though.
I don't know why it would make sense to buy this round, when you could just eco one round and full buy.
Especially considering NRG's money is already out of control, so at this point you just have to...
focus on your own economy?
Yeah, give up on pressuring them in as far as the decision-making goes. I feel like in the past we would see way more like buys in this situation from the CTs, but I'm glad that we see less of that, because generally it always spiraled out of control. Almost always, of course.
Actually, with I wasn't paying attention to the loss bonus, but with this loss bonus, there's more argument to save the rifle in that previous round, because you have a more dangerous eco buy with Kevlar, CZs, etc. So this is a winnable round.
Yeah, he kept the kid as well, I think, and so that's also really big on this round. There's a lot of action towards the A side of the map at the moment for both teams. Well, when I say action, I mean presence, I suppose. No action.
So you mean not action at all?
And Cirque will spot a couple CTs there. There goes a flash. Hello, Stanislaw, ready and waiting for Cirque to make the play. And this is looking great for Complexity at the moment because they've boxed NRG in a little bit. So this is up to the good, good mid-round calling for NRG to get out of this situation. They at least escape with the bomb, but they lose another player. Going into Android now, ready with the Deagle. Gets a nice shot straight to the face of Breeze. One more player to go. Fugly tries to round the corner, around the smoke. That's lots of damage. Android is doing a fantastic job. And he goes into CT spawn. There's surely no way that NRG can save this now. Android has bought so much time. Hey, how is he still alive?
Def and Shazam around the checkers positions and 2 CTs in CT. There's no flashbang for these players. Maybe they don't need it and they can swarm 4-on-1. Ethan, no time for him to get the Molotov. So much spray. All the garden hoses pointed at Ethan. And he will get wet.
Look how much they've picked up. They picked up an AWP and 3 AKs. That is pretty damn huge. Wow, that's going to be a bit quite this. That's the exact swing of money they needed. Look how much money they have and the guns. If they win a round now, it's crazy.
Yes, that is one way to get right back into things. But they do need consecutive rounds. That's the first round the first important round they've won since the pistol, let's say. So the success rate isn't quite there just yet. They've got all the tools they could want. We've got a Molotov bouncing towards the boost position in case... Sorry, a smoke bouncing towards the boost position in case there was an incendiary grenade, but there isn't one. Mid has not been challenged by the CTs in this round. Ethan looking towards the A site early. Now Def is moving to the back of Z. Ye has made a play into main in the meantime. He's by the lockers with an off angle. So there are traps laid for NRG's advance.
Yeah, it's actually quite cool having Ethan in that spot. I don't think that's going to be expected whatsoever. There's nobody to flash for Def to make a peek into mid though. So I wouldn't imagine Def would peek without a flash at this point of the rounds. Because people can be all over the place. And with the control of A main, they don't need to peek. You can see that they've got control of A main. It's allowed them to cheat an extra player towards B, so they have 3 on B, and that they have a pretty strong defense there in connector. So there's no entry. Oh, he's going to peek now. Oh, that's big. That's the moment NRG have been waiting for. Now they have to deal with Ye. How much can Ye get? There's one. The spray's good for a second. There's a third player there, and he's very aware that more players will be coming from Squeaky, and he's looking for it. But Fugly's just baiting him out, just waiting. Ye still gets more. That is incredible. Still 2 players left, though. Ethan and Fugly strike.
But Stanislaw has a chance because that bomb has to cross back towards the A site. Ethan, aware of that, is going to go to the forklift position. Now they can double peek, and Stanislaw, not realizing the whole situation, goes for the molly towards fork. The bomb, for all he knows, could have already been on the site. Unfortunately for him, they had to rotate it. They get to double peek. But that's great play by Ethan as well to move into that position.
Yeah, he had a really nice round. He is 15 for 6 right now. So, unfortunately for Complexity, unable to win that last round, but they had plenty of cash. Got a double AWP here for round number 11. And lots of noise being made by NRG here towards the B side of the map. Now, what is their plan? Will they try to clear out checkers? After making so much noise, Complexity are definitely a bit wary of presence in B storage. Very fast from Shazam, catches Daps. And this is a bit rough for NRG because they don't have a way to get into middle at the moment. They don't have anything towards A. They're just gonna go for B. Makes sense.
Plenty of footsteps being made. Shazam is already in position, but can only be required for the 1 frag. That is a massive shutdown from Complexity. There is still money here for NRG, but that's a crucial round for Complexity to win. It does give them a fighting chance to get a better score towards the end of this half. They had to win that round, and they did. But they are still not out of danger. You can see $2,000 per person. They've got to get consecutive rounds.
Yeah, it was a bit of a one-dimensional round there from NRG. You can see it hinged so much on getting someone into mids. You would want perhaps a mid take first before entertaining future options. But with the AWP looking for any attempt now into A, knowing that NRG will likely have an AWP back onto Cirque, knowing that Cirque, being the animal that he is looking for a victim, a hapless victim.
1 minute's mark. NRG currently waiting for some aggression from Complexity, perhaps a boost, but nothing doing just yet. With the smoke towards A, Daps and Fugly making their way towards the B bomb site, and the bomb has been left in a position where it could rotate in either direction. 40 seconds remain. They're offering a fake. 2 smokes towards the B bomb site. Shazam is in position. No real rotation just yet from the CT side. Fugly has been left to continue to sell the fake, and Shazam has an angle. 29 seconds now. Def is on A on his own. Fugly picked off, and now we start to see grenades come out. A smoke on quad, but Def can use that to his advantage, especially with the time on the clock. Counter flashes from the CT side, and NRG need to cross to the site, and they're still not doing that. Daps is carrying the bomb. He's completely blind. 10 seconds, and Def still has the site to himself. There's finally a trade frag. 7 seconds, the bomb's on the floor, and that is the round for Complexity.
Yeah, they don't have to do anything else now at this point. They will finish off Cirque, though, right before the timer hits 0, and that'll be a welcome Def, I think, from Cirque. Not to die after time. 5 rounds now from Complexity. 7 for NRG, and their money's in a bit of a weird place. Need to wait 1 more round before going for the full buy. Do they just... Okay, there we go. For 4 seconds, it would just be Glocks, but 3 CZs, a few nades, some Kevlars as well, and perhaps a fast play into the A site. Ooh, 4-door. And Daps has the flashbang. He's got the pop flash.
It's the family car, Dan.
He's going to bounce it into forklift, I imagine, maybe. Let's have a look. Waiting for Daps. No smoke on Daps though. Ethan has the smoke. Because Daps could smoke Toxic. But wow, they're actually just allowed straight onto the site. Plant coming in. And they've nailed it. That's a great result.
There are some nice pop flashes at the back of the site towards the forklift for people in the car position. There's one. Forcing the issue, trying to close the distance, take the fight to them as they need to. Daps now trying to get 1 more frag. Shazam's got to be careful. 24 HP. Are rolling the wrong angle, but Daps puts his cross in the wrong place, perhaps. Should have been a kill, wasn't a kill, but they got the bomb plant that will help in these last 2 rounds of the first half.
Yeah, you have to imagine that Cirque is going to get an extra kill there as well most of the time. But yeah, good result overall. That was what they were looking for. Get the bomb down. Got a couple kills. And now 5 AKs. So no AWP on Cirque. Perhaps they've been struggling to really get it working. Shazam's been doing a decent job when he's been called for it. Oh, Def going deep, going fast, going quick. Gonna get flashed. How far do they go with that? They can keep pushing. Spotted nothing, just dig Def into the sunroom at the very least. Oh, there's a spot. Def giving respect to NRG, backing away, not staying in sunroom. Oh, look at them go. They want to abuse the fact that they were so far pushed in B storage. This is a great move from NRG. At the drop of a pin, they're ready to just hit the...
opponent in the face?
Yeah, exactly.
This is a big round for NRG. If they lost this round, we were probably looking at an 8-7 for Complexity. Although with the plant, they had a loss bonus to buy, so who knows? We will never know. Retake smoke, suggesting a play containing NRG. Complexity for the most part, have the money to buy regardless. It's only Ye who's short with 1,500, but they will not overcommit. Shazam and Ye will hold on to what they have, and it will be 8 rounds for NRG. Has been an interesting half of Counter-Strike so far. It feels like the rounds have been NRG's to win.
It's like when you tab and like the sound just gets stuck on repeat.
Yeah. Remember when you'd ult tab back into the game and all the bodies, if you were dead, all the dead bodies would just land wherever your camera was.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if that was the sound. Cirque off to a bad start. Shazam winning the duel there very early towards the B bomb site, but Shazam has misplayed his position. Fugly went past his angle, had no idea, and that could have been the end of the round. Fugly will draw the attention of 2 CT players, and maybe Daps can do something about it, but the smoke is good on the high ground. Daps will make a sound, not the worst thing in the world though, to show some presence there. Now Daps will need to rotate the bomb because only 2 of his players are over towards A.
Ethan, ready for it. Didn't think Def would have that one, but he does. Up to Breeze and Daps now. Breeze has a decently forward position, but that smoke will not last forever. And as soon as it goes away, he's going to be much more exposed. 2 players on the site now for the CTs. I don't think Breeze will expect that. Daps certainly didn't. And now Breeze has to piece it all together. This is so tough for Breeze. We might find the perfect flank though. Is spotted, needed an instant kill, gets it onto Death, but shot in the back. And we finish with a very competitive scoreline at the end of the first half. 8 rounds for NRG, who did not win the pistol, and 7 for Complexity, bringing it back towards the end. Very nicely done by them.
Who will take some momentum into the second half by winning the pistol. I'm sure we will see Daps with a smoke and a diffuse kit. He is... Oh, he's gone for Kevlar. Ethan has gone for the diffuse and the double flash. That is very curious because normally Daps would almost be famous for the smoke and diffuse on the A site, but a different approach. Is this a hard read based on their opponent? Oh, Cirque peaked a touch too early, but it seems it is a hard counter because look how many players for Complexity are over towards the A site with the pick in the squeaky door. Now they've got a potential flank in play. More counter flashes, but Daps is not really committing to the peak here. Cirque trying to finish off Shazam. There's the bomb on the floor. No frags for Complexity just yet. Def of 15 HP. Def is dead. That has got to be a counter play specifically for Complexity because Daps loves himself a smoke and a diffuse kit. He loves it, that.
Do you think it was spawn based as well? I didn't see the spawns, but maybe Ethan had the furthest back spawn?
Potentially.
Because that would mean less blocking, get better timings as well on a push, so could be it as well.
I have never seen NRG, or this iteration of NRG, I've never seen him do that pistol on Cash. That has got to be a hard counter for Complexity.
Yeah, it's true. You always see the smoke kit. And also there's... I think Cash was really the map where we first started to see like a lot of like set retake smokes from CTs and pistol rounds. I recall back to the Titan days. I think it was the Existence doing that. You like line it up from car, you toss it, give you all kinds of advantages. But now Complexity have been given a few things to think about. NRG win a pistol round, just as Complexity did on their first half. So, going to get a walk in towards door. Actually funny because this is exactly how NRG stole away a couple kills in the plant not too long ago, actually. It was one of the later save rounds that they ran. Def actually throwing it over the roof here as opposed to sort of trying to pop flash forklift or something. A high flash. Can they get a bomb down? Looks like they'll be able to do so. All right, so mission accomplished, really. You can see the investment from the whole team was completely minimal. Just a P250 and a flashbang.
It's a curious flashbang over the roof because... Oh, hold on a second. I'm going for the burst fire. It's a curious flash because it goes off at...
Too high?
Well, it's not the height. I mean, I see what you're getting at. The general distance from the players it's flashing, the further away a flashbang is, the less amount of time it will flash people for. So I don't know how effective it was in them planting the bomb per se. I don't know.
Yeah, normally
plant the bomb they did, so...
Normally it's for like a forklift flash so that the players are safe coming out of Squeaky. That's usually the point of the flashbang, I think.
Yeah, it would be interesting to look at that on the demo and just nerd out on it.
Nerd out.
Or offline and look at it from different positions.
Crab walk.
Stereotypical CT positions. Educate one's self. Ethan alone on the A bomb site. Android is lining up a smoke for quad. Aim it at the top of the arrow and away you go. But if you have somebody on the site, on the CT side, it can be helpful. But they're pushing towards the highway position and the high position. Yay, getting all the frags. And that might be a save for NRG.
It looks it. Not too much you can do. This is exactly what happens. Well, not exactly what happened, but as far as the rounds won and lost goes, this happened on the first half as well. You know, Complexity won the first 2 rounds, lost the first buy round. And we're getting a mirror here. So things really evening up between these two teams, making it look very competitive. And I'm sure that Complexity have played NRG in a lot of different practices. You know, NRG and Complexity have, you know, were on too far away on level for a while. Being North American teams, one would imagine that they have practiced much together. So. So 10-8, or 8-10 I should say, as Complexity pick up another round to close the distance between themselves and their opponents. Great entries from Ye. Doing a fantastic job. So we've got NRG, you know, they saved some guns from the previous round. They've got the AWP onto Cirque, and then P9 onto Daps. A pretty damn good selection of grenades too. So it's not looking too shabby from them in the buy department. How well will they fare, though, in this round? Cirque looking for something in A main. He's got close support in Ethan. The cross smokes in mid as well. Daps is in a perfect position to see if this is just fraudulent or not. Often the smokes are thrown there to really throw the CTs off rotation-wise. But NRG, they've seen through this, literally, because Daps was right there.
1 minute 10 on the clock. Smoke around main. Disappears. Daps under the boost position. CTs don't really have a lot of info. Ethan is on the boost position. You can see him on the lamp now. Now he's on the floor. Opens the door. Nobody's there. Politely closes it behind him. Good manners. No one committing to the A bomb site though. Stanislaw and Ye slowly rotating. Ooh, they're going to boost somebody. In the meantime, plays towards the B bomb site and Cirque is given free reign. The bomb is at the feet of these CT players and only one person's in position to do anything about it for the time being. Shazam needs players to catch up. Trying to bait for his teammates. But Cirque will eliminate everybody. What does Stanislaw do now? Does he continue on? Choice has been taken away. Teammates have been taken away. He's got no pen pals left.
Yeah.
No one to rise to letter 2 but himself. Maybe he can put one in a bottle and wish for Cirque to DC from the server.
It's really sad for Complexity because I think it was, I'm not sure who died first, but the person, yeah, okay, there it is. So it was Def. So we can see on the X-ray that Def like checked for the position, but then the way that Cirque was walking around the bomb site, he just finds these perfect timings to catch them off guard. And for Cirque, all you need is a split second, and that's what he got. And he just absolutely smashed it. So that is very tough to deal with. And now Complexity, after losing that round, they'll have a decent buy, and they're looking to go for a set piece onto A pretty much straight away. I'm not sure if these nades are just to bait out a response, or if they want to go with them. So there's a smoke for quad. Just one smoke. Perhaps looking for counter grenades from the CTs. NRG seem unfazed by this single smoke. They're holding on to a lot of their utility. And here comes the second barrage of utility and the push.
Carpets of flame on the A site. Breeze, Ethan, Daps and Cirque around the car and highway position. Stanislaw with the heroes plant, but will it be enough? 4 versus 3, and the CTs continue to frag. Yay is the last one to fall. Carcasses all over the A site. An easy defuse. The tentacles are out for Daps. And the bombers are danger no more. 12-8. NRG are heading towards the first map. I feel like that transition is getting louder now.
Yeah, we fixed it.
Screaming for attention. One of these 5 rounds in this half won by Complexity so far. Not a favourable statistic for them. They are in the midst of a tactical timeout. Likely to be an eco round from the side. How can they turn things around? I like the attention being shown by the players, Shazam and Def, focusing on what is being said.
It's a good time to take a timeout too, because that round, that was one of those rounds where you do need to take a pause. Probably if you're in the IGL or the coach, and just be like, okay, where did we lose that round? Because they managed to get into position, they managed to get the bomb down. So you have to figure out, did the other team just play out of their minds on the shots, or did we have a series of favorable situations which we just had a poor time of? Because if that's the case, then that's a round you need to sort of bookmark and say, well, we can run that again later. But if it was the case that it just really didn't work out, then you just scrap it, I think.
Cirque had a handle warmer full on his buy bind.
Excuse me?
They need to reset the round. So this is why you have a 60% technical pause computer. This is why you have a 60% keyboard. No F keys. This can't happen. But you can still have your binds. Many people are ignorant to a 60%. You press a function key, press a number, and there's your F key. If you press that by mistake, I will be impressed. Buy binds. The only buy binds I have are, I use T to pull out a Molotov and also to buy one. 4 to pull out a HE grenade or buy one. Only a HE grenade. It does not cycle through and so on and so forth. So the side mouse button at the front is a flashbang. The one at the back is a smoke grenade. So it will either buy one or pull one out. So yeah, I only have buy binds for grenades. Everything else, I'm used to the old text menus in the older versions of Counter-Strike. It was so awesome. You can just have a simple text menu, no wheel nonsense, and you could just drill your buys really fast. It was fun to type it fast, which is why I never wanted a buy bind.
Again.
So I don't do buy binds.
Can't you? Is it? Oh, you could turn it on in source, but not in.
Turn this on. Oh, you can't do the text. No, that was like I was sad about that for the longest time because I just liked the simplicity and minimalism of the text buy menu. Why isn't that a thing?
Because it's 2018, James. That's why.
Why can't it be? Maybe in Panorama it can be. The round has been restored. Cirque, no juggling, please. Thank you.
All right, we're back into the action. Complexity looking for answers. They just had a failed set piece. They got a bomb down, but they couldn't defend it. There was not even close. Everyone got wiped out. So it's definitely some issues there. And they've likely figured out whether or not that's a round that they care to run again in the future. They won't get too many more opportunities. NRG sitting on 12. This is likely to go 13. They have every advantage to make it so. Complexity are making their way towards A. So NRG playing sort of a retake here, which is quite cool. And I like this a lot because it's really hard to just run into B with the pistols because it's just like 2 main choke points really. But A, with the right flashbangs and so on, you can actually overwhelm the defense. And I don't think NRG care at all about the money of their opponent. They just want to win the rounds. And so by allowing the Ts to run onto the site like this, the utility that they can then... Whoa! Def, what on earth? What is that? 2 headshots. So I'm just going to shut up for a second about the retake how retakeable this is, because Def has something to say about that. Daps will make the situation slightly easier, but this is still a little bit tricky. Oh, the Deagle shots raining in this round for Complexity. Android could be onto another one. Cirque is very weak. We'll take him down. It's up to Def to finish the job. 2 players to go for the 4K. There's one, another headshot. Oh my god, he gets every single one.
But they did defuse the bomb.
Oh no!
They did defuse the bomb. Man.
That's incredible.
That was fun. He gets the NS from his opponents. You have to respect the...
Oh my god.
You got to respect the swag. But, and that was a much needed round, but they didn't get it. Just a touch after the defuse.
Oh my god, all the Deagles, man, all the Deagles.
Now let's see, what implications do all those Deagle shots have? If they win this round, Complexity, that is a... Oh dear. Existence used to throw that Molotov in the vent behind the smoke. He used to have a lineup for a combination of grenades there, but Stanislaus completely missed it, so maybe he needs to watch that demo again.
So NRG just handling this round pretty well, just dominating middle into the 2v4 for Complexity. And it gets really awkward. I mean, 4 players is still like a really good amount to cover pretty much everything on the map. It's when the CTs get down to 3 is when things start to get really tricky. And Complexity, they're going to have to just try to push into the A site, but they've announced their presence. Every single CT is around the A site now. All hands on deck. It's a nice shot there from Shazam, elevating himself, but it will come at a grave cost. And Def is stuck in the squeaky area, and he will be eliminated as well. 14 rounds now for NRG, 8 for Complexity. This is map 1 in this best of 3 series.
That was a big opportunity for Complexity after the Deagle shots from the likes of Android and Def. And it has come and gone. So now NRG are in a strong position to close out the first map. But Complexity will buy once more. And the money is still ropey for NRG. Def has a very forward spawn, one of the best spawns you could ask for. If you have like a sniper or even a rifler in this position, they may go for a peek towards mid, try and catch a CT player making their way towards short, or go for an even deeper peek for the player staying to the T's left-hand side. But again, we've got the smoke grenade anticipating the Molotov. Oh, that's the one that just lands there anyway. There we go. Quickly into the mid position are Complexity. And they may charge towards the white box. Looks like the CTs are favouring a boost. And now with that presence in mid, Complexity are charging towards the B bomb site. Cirque falling back. He could get smoked off, and that would isolate his teammate. Gets one wall bang. And there is the bomb taken down. Fugly delivering on the B bomb site. Going high now. Android taken out as well. Great work by Fugly.
Yeah, this is a pretty awkward situation now for Complexity. The health is so low. Bomb stuck in the middle of nowhere. They have a lot of time, I suppose, but no utility left either, really. A flashbang on Def. That is all they have to work with besides their weapons. And there goes Def. What can Shazam do from this spot? 3 players to go, 50 seconds to do it. He can try to force them out with the plant of the bomb. Oh, he's burning. Oh, dear. I actually was going to say I respect that he just goes for the plant straight away, because he will get it, because a lot of players would just expect you to fake it at first. Good call on the incendiary, though, and that's another round for NRG. They're 1 away from convincingly taking cash away from Complexity.
The 2 players started this round with average just shy of $3,500. Simply not enough for even a single AK, let alone grenades. So you better know your little sprays, kind of like an inverse Titan logo upside down.
An inverse Titan logo upside down.
Well, inverse, is that just like one axis, or is that both axes?
Well, it's a flip, isn't it? It's like it's just a horizontal flip, isn't it?
Yeah, so then what I said is correct, isn't it?
No, yeah, I'm just saying it's like a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Anyway, thank you, Dan. Inverse Titan axes upside down. Moving into the B bomb site are these Ts, but is it too little too late? Shazam has been lost already. Cirque again in that CT spawn position where he can just go for repeak after repeak. 2 kills for him. The bomb far too deep, and Daps will take an angle.
1 versus 3 for Android. He has a path to A, but he does not have the bomb on his back, and there's no way to craft one in this game. So he has to go get it. It's only one, and you got to go get it. Unless you spawn without the bomb, that's happened before. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Android will keep pushing forwards. And this is just traps everywhere. Traps everywhere. Ethan takes him out. 16-8. Ethan with 24 kills at the top of the scoreboard with Cirque. Good performance all around there from NRG, though. They looked very confident from start to finish. Complexity, they did a good job in the first half, but on that T side, they just could not find success.
I like Cirque's positioning on the B bomb site with the AWP. It's interesting because you risk getting smoked off, but you also get a lot of repeaks in the right situation, so that was interesting. But that's a small thing in a big game of Counter-Strike from NRG, and indeed, they will take the first map of this best-of-3 series. Can Complexity take it to 1-1? We will find out after the break. See you back here soon.